In Austin, I'm Quita Culpepper. A former Austin ISD teacher is now facing criminal charges for possession of child pornography and improper relationship between an educator and student. The district sent a letter to families about Jonathan Marks' arrest. Williamson County jail records show he was arrested last week. School district officials say he taught at Bedichek and Gorzicki middle schools from 2020 through 2024 as a special education inclusion teacher. Austin ISD police are investigating whether any misconduct happened on campus. Two Texas chapters for the Council on American Islamic Relations have filed a lawsuit against Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton. This week, the governor designated the group a foreign terrorist organization, banning it from owning land in Texas. Daniel Perot has more.
An escalating battle between the state of Texas and one of the largest Muslim civil rights groups in America, the Council on American Islamic Relations. In a federal lawsuit, CAIR is asking the court to block Governor Greg Abbott's proclamation designating it as a terrorist organization.
These attacks on CAIR and on the American Muslim community and on Texas Muslims pose not only a threat to our community, but to all Americans.
That designation means the group can't own land in Texas. CAIR argues the governor's proclamation is baseless, unlawful, and an attempt to punish political speech.
It's not a coincidence that CAIR was targeted. They've been a real thorn inside, standing up for what are clear free speech rights.
The lawsuit comes just hours after the governor doubled down, directing the Texas Department of Public Safety to investigate CAIR and the Muslim Brotherhood for alleged criminal activities. He has called CAIR a front group for Hamas and a direct subsidiary of the Muslim Brotherhood, saying the group was an unnamed co-conspirator in a 2009 terrorism financing case, accusing the organization of employing and supporting individuals who promote terrorism-related activities.
When one looks at the allegations in part are years and years old, they don't actually, many of them are untrue. The few of them that have some factual basis establish nothing.
Earlier this year, Abbott signed a bill that bans property developments that he calls Sharia compounds. That bill targeted Epic City, a planned Muslim-centric development in Collin County.
The ban on Sharia law in Texas is now strengthened.
Abbott says the groups are unlawfully imposing Sharia law, which violates the Texas Constitution. Sharia law lays out the moral and behavioral principles that Muslims should follow, things like prayer, fasting, and generosity to the poor. It does include mentions of punishment, but many Muslim countries do not apply Sharia to criminal law. CAIR says no one is imposing Islamic law on Americans.
Those rules have no application whatsoever in America, obviously. Just like the rules of the Bible that relate to what a government would do have no application in America.
And that was Daniel Perot reporting. CAIR is asking the court to block the state from enforcing the proclamation while further legal challenges play out. The governor's office has not commented on this new lawsuit. A new contract for Austin firefighters is up in the air. City leaders paused the process and asked the Austin Firefighters Association to return to the bargaining table to address some concerns, specifically if the union plans to launch a campaign to initiate a ballot item on staffing each fire engine with at least 4 firefighters. City leaders said council will not vote on the contract until they receive a formal response from the AFA. The 4-year deal is worth nearly $63 million and includes pay raises for firefighters. With more autonomous vehicles driving around Austin, first responders want to make sure those cars aren't creating safety problems on our roads. But with state law preventing local governments from regulating AVs, local leaders formed a special group to work with AV companies on safety. Malia Masamoto shows us how that group is helping this evolving technology integrate into daily life in Austin.
There's no hesitation for Spin Rodriguez. He'll gladly hop in a car with no one in the driver's seat.
Heading to Central Market.
You know, I've taken so many Ubers in my life. I noticed immediately that it felt like the most cautious driver ever.
He's been one of the brave early adopters of the technology in Austin.
It's just so much more aware of its surroundings than you are, even if you think you're paying attention.
Back in 2017, autonomous vehicle companies started testing in Austin. But that same year, Texas lawmakers passed Senate Bill 2205, restricting local entities from regulating AVs, leaving it up to the state to decide the rules.
Frankly, this is the Wild West when it comes to autonomous vehicles. There is a lot of leeway that they have, and enforcement is very limited on our end.
Austin Fire Captain Matt McIlerney is a part of the AV working safety group that came together 2 years ago. That was around the time AV company Cruise from General Motors stopped all operations across the country after several safety issues.
There was quite a significant amount of incidents with Cruise that help populate that dashboard or help push that dashboard into existence.
That's when the city started tracking AV incidents. In the year after Cruise left Austin, incidents fell by more than half, from 54 in 2023 to just 21 in 2024. But in 2025, it's gone back up now to more than 80 as more driverless cars continue to hit the streets.
I had heard so much about autonomous driving and how they had been testing it in other cities and facilities that I was just excited to see what that would be like.
Waymo from Alphabet, the parent company of Google, launched through Uber at the start of this year, and Tesla put out their robotaxis in June. 3 other companies are now in the testing phase. This year, the largest category of incidents is safety concerns. That includes AV's understanding of police manually directing traffic.
Yes, they can detect a person, but sometimes hand and arm signals, if they're not demonstrative or the vehicle doesn't pick up on them, it can be problematic for APD to direct those AV.
Waymo wouldn't interview for this story, but says they're always looking for ways to improve. Every month, the AV Safety Working Group meets to talk through these issues and receive training from AV companies. Waymo says it has already trained more than 20,000 first responders through their first responder program.
If we need to move the vehicle out of a main thoroughfare, we need to know how to manually override the vehicle, or if we have somebody that's possibly unconscious in the vehicle, we need to know how to open the vehicle up.
McIlerney said for the most part, the companies have been receptive to the collaboration.
Where we've met some obstacles and some hurdles is addressing incidents. They're not very willing to share video with us on exactly what the incident was, and that's very hard for us to piece together the exact nature of the problem.
Waymo said they won't provide data without a valid legal request, which McIlerney said they don't always have the time to get for every incident they investigate. So before the roads get more crowded with new AVs in the next few years, first responders are hoping for some changes from lawmakers.
And we're hoping on a federal level that we can get more strength to enforce some of the things that we want to do.
But they're not cautioning people against using AVs, as long as it's done safely, which is what Rodriguez thinks the future with all AVs would look like.
I think that if you got in one and you just rode in it one time, you'd probably see how much more efficient it is.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
In Austin, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.
And those are the headlines happening in Austin. I'm Quita Culpepper.